Welcome to Cars with Big Boy Trev Season 3. We promised that we're going to give you the best reviews. And of course, to start this season, we have this particular car, the Range Rover Sport SVR, the top of the line. This one is where bespoke means performance. And SVR was created solely to give that soul, that character that Range Rover desires. If you need power and performance and handling, then the SVR definitely is the place to be. So on this particular make, on the Range Rover Sport, they've done quite subtle things that have made this car look very practical. So as you can look here, it's still a Range Rover. As you can see, you do have the clamshell bonnet with a floating roof line, and of course the bulging air dam front split. As you can see here, this black piano black finish denotes performance and courtesy of SVR. And of course you do have the badge, the symbol that shows you that this car means business. Moving along to the side profile, as you can see, this car looks as if it has squatted down, and the reason is because this particular car has air suspension, and when unpacked it needs to have something called access ride height, so it goes down so the passengers can have easy entry and exit. And of course, to complement that, you do have retractable side steps. As you can see here, look at that, this is a side step, so if you're a brief person, you can get in, step on it and get inside. Moving on to the back, this is where matters get dicey. Why? Because we have quad exhaust pipes. I can tell you for a fact that the sound of those exhausts on full gas, on sport mode, on dynamic mode, the crackle and popping as you rev all the way to 6,500 RPM, I can tell you the amount of sound of the active exhaust is amazing. And if you don't like active exhaust, you can switch it off and you have your cool, calm V8 sound, and you're driving pleasantly on our highways. You can still relax in the Range Rover Sport. Enough of that, let's get in and see what the Range Rover Sport SVR is all about. Step inside this luxurious cabin courtesy of the Special Vehicle Operations, and the R means performance line of the Range Rover Sport. And you can see this interior has been specifically designed for this SVR. So you have two-tone leather, so you have black and red signifying performance, danger. As you can see, even on the seats here, you have two-tone leather, of course, with white piping and stitching, just to show that this car means business. As you can see here, you have soft touch leather, of course, and in the center console here, you do have this looks like carbon fiber finish, also giving it that racy look, because this is the top of the line Range Rover Sport. And of course, with this stainless steel chromium accents, it makes it look, you know, it's sanitized, it looks fresh, it looks very, very race-like you're driving a race car. Let's move to the center console. As you can see here, you do have an 8-inch display that houses, obviously, the navigation which works in Kenya, and of course you do have reverse camera and an audio system that sounds exactly like this. Now that is courtesy of an 825 watt Meridian audio sound system exclusively built for the Range Rover Sport. So moving on to the lower part of this center console, you do have the climate control system that allows you to select variably different temperature settings for each passenger. As you can see here, the design is very minimalistic, soft touch buttons, and of course the knobs which have screens in them just to show you the different temperature settings. And of course, on the high spec models, you do have heated seating and cooling, which is very important these days as you're looking to buy a car that has all the bells and whistles you can ever think of. Moving on to the gearbox console, as you can see here, you do have a carbon fiber finish which gives this car a racy feel. And just below it, you can see the terrain management system, which is a proprietary trademark of Land Rover. They're the ones who created this particular car, starting with the L405 and many others that are behind it. So the integration of these traction control systems allows the Range Rover to become very capable both on and off-road. You have settings obviously for tarmac or dynamic driving. Of course, if you want to go bundu bashing, you can have rock, snow, mud, rut, any kind of surface. You're able to adjust the traction settings and be able to navigate easily. Now moving over to the steering, it's a 3-spoke steering wheel with satellite buttons settings on different sides of the steering wheel. So on the left hand side, you do have one that controls the multimedia interface, so you can pick up your call, you can add volume, you can select tracks, and of course you can have voice activation done on this side without taking your hands off the steering wheel. On the right hand side, you do have critical cruise control settings, so you can have cruise control while on tarmac, so you have adaptive cruise control and standard cruise control. And obviously when you're going off-road, you do have a hill descent control, which you also control on this particular setting. And of course, not forgetting this heated steering wheel, which comes in handy during June, July weather. So I can tell you for a fact that this car makes a lot of sense for people who are looking beyond just driving an SVR. We talked about the seats earlier, they're heated and perforated, and of course these are bucket seats, standard courtesy of SVR and SVO family, which now is a bespoke engineering firm that is related to the Jaguar Land Rover family. So they create sport seats that are hugging. I'm comfortable, as you can see. The seats are quite they're supportive, and of course they're very flexible, 8-way adjustment, and of course you do have heated and cooling. Now enough of that, we need to move to the back and find out if Mr. Mwirigi is comfortable in the rear of the Range Rover Sport SVR. Stay tuned.
So the guys at Land Rover Special Vehicle Operations didn't just mess with the engine, they also did a lot when it comes to the interior. Like Trevor said, there's fantastic leather interior here, and there are these sport bucket seats that are unique to the SVR. What is also unique is the fact that the back we also have sport seats, so it's a very comfortable place to sit. And there's a grab handle here for when the driver is doing his mad craziness. At the back here, there's a lot of space to put stuff over here. First of all, as usual, Trevor is 6'1", and there's a lot of space for my knees over here, so there's quite a lot of space in the back here. As you can see, very many places to put phones and things, including over here, where there's an additional space on the side, as well as space for 2 drinks over here, as well as space on the side. At the back, we also have dual zone air conditioning and seat heating in the back. But let's check out the boot to see just how much more this has to offer. So coming round to the back of this Range Rover Sport SVR, and we have of course a power tailgate that opens to reveal a wide space that is very usable because it's very wide, it's very flat, you can put a lot of stuff inside here. This has air suspension, so you can actually lower it to have better access to the stuff that you want inside. On the side, we have tie-down hooks to keep your stuff down when the car is weaving about because of that incredible engine, and a 12-volt socket over here to power a fridge or any other gadget that you need when you're off the road. Speaking of off the road, this has a full-size spare tire, which means that if you're off-road and you get into a bit of trouble, you should be okay. So let's take this on the road and see what this 5-liter V8 has to offer.
On season 3, we've premiered the Range Rover Sport SVR. And I'm going to go into the technicalities of the matter. Up front, you have a 5-liter V8 supercharged that produces 575 horsepower and 680 Nm of torque. That sounds like this. Now that power is sent to the 4 wheels courtesy of an 8-speed automatic with, of course, terrain management system that allows traction to be redistributed to all the 4 wheels or the 2 axles, whichever you may prefer. Again, this power is raw. You can feel the intensity of this particular V8 because this is the sound of madness. The steering, it feels hydraulic. It's very precise as well. You can tell where the nose is pointing, and of course the air suspension allows this car to waft and tightens, especially when on dynamic mode that I'm on right now. You have active exhaust that allows you to feel the crackle and pops, people to know that you mean business on the highway. Like right now, I am just about to floor it and 575 horses on my beck and call, and it feels rapid, it feels fast. That is the power of a V8 courtesy of Range Rover. FVJ, we're gonna miss this engine. This particular car has so many active and passive safety synonyms like vehicle stability control. You do have, of course, the terrain management system that allows you to control the traction, and of course you do have ABS, anti-lock braking system, and many others that prevent you from getting into harm's way. But in case you get excited and you run out of talent, then the ES will quickly intervene by using torque vectoring distribution to allow you not to lose control. And of course, in case you topple over a cliff or anything, you can rely on the 5-star safety rating of this Range Rover Sport cell, the passenger cell. It dissipates impact energy away from the passenger cell into the chassis, keeping you safe and sound from harm's way, which is very, very important. That's it. It is fun to drive on tarmac. Is it as fun to drive off-road? We're going to find out from Wirigi, who's going to do us a lowdown on the capabilities of the Range Rover Sport. Stay tuned.
We're going to take this off-road, but I don't need to tell you anything about its off-road capability because this is still a Range Rover. It still has that Land Rover badge in the front, the green one, and that badge comes with a legacy of legendary off-road capability, and this has not been left behind. First thing I've done is raise the suspension because this still has air suspension, so you can raise it to get some good ground clearance, and you can lock the differentials. It has two, a center and a rear differential, and it's full-time four-wheel drive. So this obviously is extremely capable off-road. You have the terrain response system with the various systems that it has. So one for sand, one for mud, one for rocks, and you can also put it in low range. So in terms of off-road capability, this thing is incredible. Even though it has 21-inch rims with low-profile tires, this air suspension is really letting us just walk all over this track over here. This is a really good experience for me over here. You still know at the end of the day that this can handle anything. But the reason it's an SVR is what it can do on the road. Well, let's check out how it stands against the competition. Let's go to value for money.
So Mirigi, we've tested the Range Rover Sport SVR, and I can tell you for a fact, the madness, the craziness of this V8 is amazing. What are the key rivals of this car?
Well, the key rivals of this car are the BMW X6M, the Mercedes-Benz G63, and of course the Porsche Cayenne Turbo S.
Now, of course, this car comes with a 5-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty, which is a standard fast for any company, and of course, it does have a 5-year, 60,000 kilometer service plan just for you to give you peace of mind. Guys, that's it. Sadly, thank you so much for joining us on Cars with Big Boy Trev. As always, it's an honor and pleasure. If you have any comments, questions, queries, don't hesitate to write to us as seen on the social media handles below. Until next week, drive safe.
Be safe.